In this video, we are going to take a look at some very, very large coloring book brands on Amazon KDP that have had their accounts terminated and talk about the reasons why this is happening and how you can avoid having the same happen to you. I'll also share an issue that I've had myself with my own coloring book brand, which luckily hasn't got my account terminated. Not yet, anyway. Welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for taking the time to join me here today. If you haven't already, I would really love it if you would consider subscribing to my channel because I would love to see you back here next week. Coloring books would have to be the most popular low or medium content book on Amazon for both publishers and customers. Coloring has become a bit of an art form in itself, and those who do color take it very seriously. Some people love coloring books to help to de-stress and relax, and some love it just to express their creativity. Publishers love coloring books because if you can get one of your coloring books to take off, there is a lot of money to be made selling coloring books on Amazon. I have a coloring book series myself, which I haven't had any issues with until recently, but I will go over what's happening with that a little bit later once we've had a look at these coloring book brands that have been terminated and why. So this all started with the most popular coloring book brand on Amazon, Jade Summer, having their account terminated. I did share a video featuring the Jade Summer brand because it was such an impressive brand that was self-published, absolutely dominating the coloring book niche. At that time that I made that video, they were at the peak of their success, and it was estimated that they were making at least $40,000 per month in royalties and had hundreds of coloring books published. At the end of 2021, though, this all came crashing down when Jade Summer just disappeared from Amazon and they announced that they had in fact, had their account with Amazon KDP terminated, basically losing their entire income overnight. And they had been making somewhere around 98% of their total income from Amazon alone. Jade Summer contacted their email list to let their customers and to let their followers know what had happened. And in that email, they said, "Our Amazon account was terminated on Thursday morning. Our books will no longer be for sale on Amazon unless they are being sold by third-party sellers. We had a trademark-related issue with the title or subtitle of two of our books. The problem was with Amazon's terms of service and was not a complaint from a third party." So Amazon's bots have picked up some issue with the titles and subtitles of some of their books and went into that process of automatically terminating Jade Summer's account. This apparently didn't happen because somebody lodged a complaint or a trademark issue with Amazon about their books. So Jade Summer continued to say, "In our opinion, this was a minor issue, could have been easily resolved with a simple update and was never meant to mislead customers. The problem was not related to copyright or artwork. Jade Summer has never received a legal complaint from a third party about our artwork." Firstly, this is an issue that I see a lot of people having with Amazon when they break the Amazon rules. Saying that they felt it was a minor issue that could have been rectified doesn't change the fact that they didn't follow Amazon's rules or Amazon's guidelines. And it seems like Amazon doesn't really accept that excuse either. The rules should have been followed from the very beginning, regardless of whether you think it's a little or a big breaking of the rules. The rules are the rules. Jade Summer went on to say, "We have appealed this decision to Amazon, but they are unwilling to reinstate our account. Despite our excellent and compliant history with Amazon, they are not willing to give us another chance." I guess this just goes to show that Amazon doesn't really care how big or small your account is or your publishing business is and the revenue is for them. I think that we think, or at least I think sometimes, that these brands are sort of safe from these kind of terminations because they are making a lot of money for Amazon. So you would sort of think, why would Amazon want to lose that? By terminating these big brand accounts, Amazon's going to be losing a big chunk of money, but they have more to lose if they become known for allowing people to illegally use trademarks and infringe on other people's copyright. Jade Summer then went on to ask its supporters and its followers to contact Amazon as well, to help them get this decision reversed. There was even a petition created and signed by hundreds of people that was sent to Amazon to ask them to reverse this decision. And it must have worked because Jade Summer did eventually have their account reinstated and they were allowed to start selling coloring books again. I'm assuming once they had updated the titles and the subtitles of their books. Now, this is one part of the story that kind of frustrated me a little bit because anybody else who publishes books, if you've already published books yourselves, you will know this. Once you have published a book, you are not allowed to change the titles or subtitles of existing books. I myself have tried to have titles of books updated to be more aligned with Amazon's rules and guidelines, and I've always been denied, and I've always been told that no, they will not update the titles or subtitles, and that if I do want to do that, I need to unpublish the existing book and republish or start from new and publish that book again. And who knows, maybe Jade Summer did do this. Maybe they did publish those books from scratch again. But looking at their books currently, it seems like the titles of all their books are very short and very simplified, which wasn't the case a couple of years ago. And I can't imagine that they went and started republishing all their books from new, considering that when they did get their account back, they still had their hundreds of thousands of reviews, which wouldn't have happened if they had to republish all their books from new. Anywho, on to the next. Another brand that started to make its way up the rankings and also become one of the most popular coloring book brands on Amazon was Coco Wyo. Coco Wyo, Coco Wyo, I'm not too sure how to pronounce it. I also shared a video featuring this brand and their marketing strategies, and when I created that video, Coco Wyo were making an estimated $25,000 per month from their coloring books and were just getting more and more popular. Earlier this year though, in May, they announced through their social media channels that their account had been terminated with Amazon KDP. And the reasons for it sounded pretty much exactly the same as Jade Summer. They state that Amazon had an issue with the title and subtitles of 2 of their books, and again, was not due to a complaint by a third party. In June of this year, they updated their followers, letting them know that their books were now available for sale on Etsy, so had not had their account reinstated, but was still working with Amazon to try to have their account reinstated. They even mentioned that they had been in contact with Jade Summer for advice on rectifying the issue. It seems like they didn't have as much luck as Jade Summer because at this point, at the time of filming this video, they have still not had their account reinstated with Amazon. Or if they have not republished any of their coloring books on Amazon. And I'm assuming, again, just like Jade Summer, that the majority of their income, if not all of their income, was coming from the sale of their books on Amazon. So what was it exactly that these publishers did to get their account terminated? We'll never know exactly because we can't see those exact titles and subtitles of those books that prompted the account terminations in the first place. And neither of them said specifically what it was. Coco Wyo even saying they weren't even told what the problem was exactly. The problem with Jade Summer, they didn't mention exactly what it was. But obviously, according to the messages that they did provide from Amazon KDP, they used somebody's name, brand, or a trademarked word or phrase that they were not allowed to use in the title and subtitles of their books. Okay, it's actually a few days since I filmed this original video, and I was just talking about not knowing the exact reasons why these 2 accounts were terminated, but since filming this video a few days ago, I actually did even do a little bit more deeper research, and I actually went back to my original footage from the Jade Summer video I did a couple of years ago where I looked at their books and I looked at their brand, and I thought maybe I could see if there was something in my video when I was looking at all their books that would maybe prompt why their account got terminated. And I actually came across this. Now, this isn't on the Amazon website. This is on the Jade Summer website. This is from 2 years ago. And you can see down the bottom here, they've got 2 books called Alice in Wonderland. One's an Alice in Wonderland adult coloring book, and one is an Alice in Wonderland grayscale coloring book. Now, you can use public domain books and characters on Amazon. It is okay to do that as long long as it is part of the public domain. And the original Alice in Wonderland, I believe, is part of the public domain. I'm wondering if this was the problem, because they did say they had 2 books that caused an issue. There's 2 books that have shown up in my video that could possibly be what caused an issue. When you're uploading your book into KDP, there is an option to check that, yes, this is a public domain book. It's quite possible that they did not select that option when uploading their book, and so the bots have come through and found that they are using what the bot thinks is a trademarked term, Alice in Wonderland, and that could be what prompted to get their account terminated. The reason why I think these 2 books may be the reason is because if we head over to the Jade Summer website now and type in Alice to search for the Alice in Wonderland coloring book, there are no results. So they have removed those 2 books from their website and from Amazon. So it is quite possible that those 2 books are what caused that particular account termination, and what they were referencing as being a minor issue could be the fact that they just didn't check that box saying public domain material or public domain book. So that was interesting to be able to go back to my old footage from a couple years ago and possibly find the reason why. It may not be, but it could be the reason why their account got terminated. A few years ago, when low content book publishing was only just starting to get really popular, people used to sort of take advantage of the Amazon system, and they used to do things like keyword stuffing their titles and subtitles, which is basically just cramming in as many keywords into your title or subtitle without it really making any kind of sense. And they got away with it because I guess at that point Amazon wasn't really monitoring what people were doing with these types of books. And we have seen over the last year or 2, Amazon has been doing a bit of a cleanup of sorts and trying to get rid of those books that did use that keyword stuffing method, that were using other people's names, brand names, or trademarks to try to get their books ranked. And we've seen a large increase in the amount of account terminations over the last year or 2. Would it have been easier for everybody involved if Amazon just did not approve these books from the very beginning and not even allow them into the Amazon marketplace in the first place? Yes, it would. I'm probably not the only one who gets frustrated when I'm on Amazon and I see these books that are clearly violating trademarks and copyright. They've keyword stuffed their title or subtitle, or they have blatantly gone against Amazon's rules and guidelines, and it's so frustrating how these books even get approved in the first place. And it would have just made for a much cleaner, low content book space without the issue of people getting away with not following the guidelines in the first place. I mentioned earlier an issue that I've had recently with my own coloring books, and that was that I received an email from Amazon KDP stating that the following ads are non-compliant to creative acceptance policies. Your book does not comply with our current creative acceptance policies, specifically for the following reasons. It's saying that my ad contains content or products prohibited from advertising, including medicinal or therapeutic claims, claims to treat, etc., etc. So this is in regards to the Amazon ads that I run on my coloring books, and I run ads on all the books in my coloring book series. In the titles of just a handful of my books, I think it's around 2 or 3 of them, these are books that are some of the older coloring books that were published a year or 2 ago. Within those titles and subtitles, I refer to it being a coloring book to help with relaxation and stress relief. Now, I'm not the only one to do this. I think 90% of coloring books on Amazon say something similar to that in their title or subtitle. And Amazon is saying that this is a medical claim that we're making, which is not allowed within their advertising guidelines. Considering that I have had my KDP account terminated mistakenly, but it has been terminated before, and that these other absolutely massive coloring book brands are seeing their accounts terminated, I am a little concerned that this could trickle over into my KDP account and will affect my KDP account as a whole. Who knows, they might decide that you cannot put these claims in the title of your book for sale on Amazon, regardless whether it's to do with advertising or selling the book. And I did contact KDP and asked that because of the fact that they've notified me about this issue, and I do not want to risk account termination, I do want to follow the rules and I want to make sure that all my books are abiding by the guidelines. Can I remove these words from my title or subtitle? To which they replied, no. If I want to remove these words, I need to unpublish the book and republish it from scratch, brand new, with the new title and subtitle, which I find a little frustrating, to be honest, when people out there are genuinely trying to do the right thing and we are trying to follow the rules and guidelines, and particularly if rules change over time and you've already got these books established and we've built up hundreds, thousands of reviews for these books. The idea of just unpublishing and starting from scratch, republishing those books from brand new and losing all that momentum, all those reviews that you spent so much time building up, it's a little scary. Thankfully, there is no trademark or infringement issues with any of the titles or subtitles with my books. And nowadays, I keep my titles and subtitles as short and as simple as I can possibly make them. So what can you do to avoid any of this heartache and frustration for yourself? First of all, familiarize yourself with Amazon's guidelines, particularly around trademark and copyright and what is and isn't allowed to be claimed or stated on your book or within your book. Before publishing any book, check for trademarks, and you can do this by checking the trademark website in whatever country that you're planning on selling the book in. So for example, if you're selling on the Amazon US store, check USTPO to make sure that your title or your subtitle is not part of a registered trademark. Also, do a quick search on Amazon to check that there aren't any other books using the exact same title or subtitle that you want to use. Sometimes this can also cause issues if that particular person decided to put in some kind of complaint to Amazon that you've copied them. Although you can't really copyright a title as such, some people try to do it and sometimes Amazon sides with that particular person. So it's better just to not take the risk and try to come up with as unique or original titles as you can, and try to build up a bit of a community around your brand, because sometimes it can come in handy when you need to try to get Amazon's attention when you need to. Anyone who has dealt with Amazon trying to contact their support team knows how hard it is to actually get in touch with a real life person. All of their emails seem to come from their automated system, and sometimes having a whole bunch of people behind you also trying to contact Amazon, trying to get their attention, can sometimes help you get in touch with a real person. Always have a backup or diversify your income enough to make sure that if you ever do get that dreaded account termination email from KDP, then your income doesn't go to zero overnight. Selling books on Amazon KDP, it really is such a wonderful opportunity that you can make really good money with, but we also have to remember that by using a third-party platform like Amazon, we are never in control of what happens to our accounts, our sales, and ultimately our income. I hope you found this video and this topic interesting and insightful, and also that it gives you some tips on what not to do when publishing your books on Amazon KDP. Have you had your account with KDP terminated? If so, let me know the reasons down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.